Hello gorgeous ones. Look, I'm in my hoodie. It's 5:30. It feels like about the middle of the night. It's dark and it's cold. Part of my self-care routine now when I get home from work is I take off all my makeup and I put on my hoodie. And on Tuesdays I was finding I wasn't doing the makeup thing because I was sort of wanting to be all posh for the show. And then I'd finally get to bed at about, whatever time I go, and I'd look and I'd go, oh, I could take off my makeup, and I'd be all cranky. So I just thought, you know what? You girls know, you know what I look like, you know that I'm not fancy. So why bother with all my makeup? I'm just gonna have my hoodie on, all snuggly, no makeup, and get cooking. Now, I have the weirdest recipe today, and bear with me because it sounds gross, but it's not. And it's called boiled egg chocolate mousse. Hey Clara, I saw Clara today at my clinic and I told her about boiled egg chocolate mousse and she's going, oh my God, that sounds disgusting. And it does, but it's not. I got the recipe from, it's a Maria Emmerich recipe, so she's a low carb guru, and it's, the thing I like about it, lots of protein. So you know that I'm always banging on about protein. So I will confess, I have pre-boiled the eggs because I thought you probably don't want to sit here watching me boil eggs. Yes, I am totally snug as a bug, Bazza. I totally am. So I was going to have them all pre-peeled for you, but because we've changed the, and this is the other thing that happened, we changed the time of the cooking show to 5:30 because I was always late for the 5 o'clock one. Hello, gorgeous Marilyn. And then I nearly missed it. It's a bit embarrassing, isn't it? Nearly missed my own show. But anyway, I'm just going to crack on cracking some eggs. So the recipe, if you want to rewriting this down, if you happen to have a pen, the recipe for this is 10 boiled eggs. So these are hard boiled. We don't want sort of runny yolks in them. If you can use old boiled egg, not old, but older eggs, they peel much easier. There used to be, I never remember having trouble peeling eggs when I was a kid. You know, it was one of our great joys. Mum was cooking something and, we would fight over who got to peel the eggs. Well, nobody fights over that anymore because they're a nightmare. But a lot of it is because they're so super fresh that they, the membrane, so look there, one egg. So I'm putting 10 eggs into my Thermi. You don't need a Thermomix. You can use any old blender. A stick blender, probably too big for a NutriBullet. Just a normal run-of-the-mill, standard blender will do it. I just happen to have one of these super expensive blenders that I hardly ever use. So today it's got a bit of a run because it's boiled my eggs, and I'm going to use it to make this crazy old mousse. So part of this came about because I've been talking to some parents lately about getting nutrition into their kids, and sometimes their kids don't want to eat eggs. So I thought, well, I saw this mousse, Arvi. Some of you know Arvi Charlton's another low carb GP. She posted a picture of it. And I thought, oh, that looks good. I'm going to do that for the cooking show. So it's literally, it is boiled eggs. Just boring old boiled eggs. 10 of those into the blender. And then you add with it, it's 400 mils of coconut cream or coconut milk. Now, I tend not to buy the coconut milk because I like the cream because it's got a bit, basically the coconut milk is just coconut cream with some extra water. So you can do that. You can just put in extra coconut cream if you want to, or you can put in coconut cream and water, or you can just put in a tin. But these little green ones are only 270 mils, so I will have to add a little bit of extra liquid. So you could probably, if you're really adverse to coconut cream, you could probably just use normal cream if you wanted to, but the recipe is coconut cream. So you put your 10 eggs, which seem to be taking me an enormous amount of time to peel because of this stupid membrane business, even though I chose the ones that I thought were sort of a little bit older. They're not old enough. They're still doing that thing. And I did, for those who were asking, I did boil them and I plunged them straight into cold water. But they're still doing that thing. They're not too bad, but oh God, it is tedious. Imagine if that was your job, chief egg sheller. Possibly a good job. I certainly wouldn't get a job doing it. I'm no good at it. I'm going to try that thing. I've tried a few tricks. You know when people do the one where they roll the egg on the kitchen bench and then it goes all thingy? I don't think that's going to work either with these actually. No, it's not. So you get your 10 eggs, you get your 400 mils of coconut cream or milk, you get half a cup of cacao or cocoa, whichever you prefer. They're very similar. Cacao is a little less processed than cocoa. Cocoa can be a bit richer. You will need a sweetener unless you're really hardcore. So I'm just using erythritol. You can use erythritol and stevia, or erythritol and monk fruit, whatever you like. And just put it in about half a cup. You may want to put in less if you're not very used to, if you don't like sweet stuff. And then you add in a bit of flavour, vanilla essence, and some cinnamon. And basically you whiz it up, and that's it. And then you've got a very, normal chocolate mousse, which is often just, it is sometimes some eggs, it's also sugar and cream, or sometimes it's just chocolate and cream. These, with the number of eggs in it, 10, it's pretty high in protein. So that makes me happy. And, I know some people get sick of eggs and the eggy taste. These have no eggy taste. I'm a bit excited. I haven't got my jar ready, but I'll grab that while it's cooking and while you're going to hear my blender doing its blending. So, I love a chat. Lucy love a chat. This week, I guess it's still quite a lot of COVID is on the agenda for various reasons. And I think it's in Sydney, obviously, if you're in Sydney, sorry, Sydney-siders, you are in lockdown and it's awful. I'm not going to dress it up and say it is fun, although it can be moderately fun. Hello, Bronwyn. But there is often uncertainty. And I guess in Victoria, I'm from Victoria, and we're uncertain because, we've done lockdown. We don't want to do it again. 10 eggs. Yes, I hope I'll like it. Yes, you will, Clara. You will definitely like it. So lockdown, hopefully people, do the right thing, peeps. I know that, wearing masks is a pain in the ass. Believe me, I get it. I wear them all day. And it does impair my consultations because I recognised that by wearing a mask, I don't get to see the whole person. Oh, Lee's in Sydney and she's an essential worker. So it is really, really hard. But you have to wear your masks. They are proven. Initially when COVID was around, the start of 2020, that's my coffee machine, probably needs to be off. When COVID was around at the start of 2020, there was all this talk on whether masks were going to be useful or not, and it is apparent that they are. So I don't think there's any doubt over that. So I guess the thing is, we don't want to live in fear. COVID does create fear. It's not just fear of COVID. Like, I'm vaccinated. I'm not worried I'm going to get COVID. I'm more fearful now that I'm never going to get a holiday, or that I can't plan anything, or that everything, every ticket to every concert that you buy might get cancelled. I think that, that's the sort of thing that is also what gets people on edge, that they feel like there's just no certainty. And I don't own a restaurant, but God, that would be hard because, you're wondering each week, are we going to have to close? What are the restrictions? And it can happen so quickly. You can be cruising along and 2 weeks later you're in lockdown thinking, bloody hell, we had 500 people booked for tonight or whatever. So they are really, really tricky times. One of the things that's important though is that we don't, use what we like to call maladaptive coping styles. So everyone has a coping style to cope with stress. Some people, eat their weight in M&Ms. I've seen that bandied around. Some people, start drinking lots of wine. Some people, this is probably my default, is that I'll get on my phone and start scrolling like for hours or play games, which again, all little bits of that is not harmful, but it's a slippery slope, isn't it? To suddenly, you're watching Netflix till 2 o'clock every morning because, well, you don't have to get up to get on the train to go to work. You might be working from home, and so you can just sort of roll out of bed and, do this much of your makeup and hair and off you go. Basically, what we need to be mindful of is the idea of the things that we can control and the things that we can't control. You know that we talk about that a lot. Mary calls it your centre of control and your sphere of influence. But it really is coming down to that. We can't control COVID at this stage. We can't control what other people are doing. We spend time probably worrying about what they're doing and getting mad with people who we perceive to be doing the wrong things. The media is unhelpful in this regard. They often perceive people as doing the wrong thing, only to find out actually they were doing the right thing. It was just bad luck. So we need to just be then focusing, rather than on everybody else and what they're all doing, on what we can do to thrive in these times. That is actually the definition of resilience. So resilience is your ability to positively adapt in difficult circumstances. Now, resilience is defined as a dynamic process. I feel like I'm quoting out of a textbook here, but I kind of am. And what that means is that dynamic, it means it fluctuates. So it comes and it goes. And there are things that will make us more resilient at times and things that will make us less. Resilience is not a character flaw. If you don't have resilience, it's not that you're hopeless. It's just that there is a lot of stuff going on for you. So resilience is not grit. It's not determination. It's not toughness. It's none of those. It's this ability to positively adapt. So you could have someone who on the outside looks like they're coping, they're going to work every day, like they might be a doctor in an emergency department or something, and they're frontline pandemic stuff, and they're coming home and drinking a bottle of wine every night. And that's probably not what we would call positive adaptation. So it's really about going, right, well, what can I do? What can I do for myself that is actually going to help me in this situation? Is it going to help me to be sitting on the couch eating ice cream every night and staying up till 2 o'clock? Well, probably not, once in a while, but every night, no. So what can you do to help yourself? That's really what resilience is. What can I do? Given I can't change the circumstances, what can I do? Now, the difficulty is sometimes that's hard. It's actually really hard because you go, oh, well, it means I'm going to have to go to bed early. You have to kind of be a bit, strict on yourself. It's actually much easier to spend time railing around, criticising everybody else, than actually doing something for yourself. That's not individuals. That's just human nature. Human nature is to be criticising everybody else because then we don't have to do anything ourselves, because in our brain we go, well, if they didn't do X, Y, and Z, then I wouldn't have to do A, B, and C. So, in Victoria we've had these whatever they were, delivery dudes who were delivering furniture. And, they had a permit to travel through the state. They didn't actually have a permit to get out of their truck and deliver the furniture. But really, what sort of furniture company is just going to deliver furniture and dump it on the nature strip? Like, nobody. So, they weren't doing anything maliciously. But, of course, in Victoria, even when I first had it heard, I thought, oh my God, because I immediately go into fear mode. Oh my God, they're going to wreck my holiday, is what my brain's saying. And so we blame and we judge and we criticise, and honestly, it doesn't help. It doesn't help anybody. We are, just all a bunch of humans trying to do most people are trying to do their best. Not everybody, I'll agree. Not everybody, but most people. God, how long's it bloody taking me to peel these eggs? I've actually peeled 11. There's meant to be 10. But I feel like I should put 11 in because there's a bit of wastage with, this is a good one. Like, this is the old-fashioned egg. This is one that bits all just peel off and you go, oh my God, it's perfect. So I'm putting 11 in. And plus, as you know, I can never follow a recipe exactly. I like to add my own little flair. So finally we're done. 11 boiled eggs. In they go. I'm doing cacao. It's organic. Doesn't matter if it is already good, but I just happen to get it. You can get this one at Coles. I really like that Red Tractor brand. I think that's pretty good. What have you got? How did they get out of the truck if they can't? Yeah, exactly. So I'm putting in half a cup of this organic cacao. I'm putting in, got some vanilla essence. I'm just going to put, this is actually extract, vanilla extract. Now, somebody was asking me about the carbs in vanilla. Interestingly, this doesn't even have it. But, look, it has got a little bit of sugar in it. But, I'm putting in like 1 teaspoon for these 10 eggs. So I sort of figure, you know, I'm not chowing down on 2 cups of sugar that would be in a standard chocolate mousse, and I'm just putting in about a teaspoon of cinnamon. And now I better put the sweetener in. And again, you can choose your own amount. What is this? In fact, it's not even half a cup, it's a third of a cup. I better put in some more cocoa because I wasn't concentrating. So a third of a cup of this sweetener. I will put in a bit more cacao because I really don't. I like it quite chocolatey. Do you guys like chocolatey? I'm, you know, now that I'm a 95% chocolate girl, I'm certainly happy with bitter. So I'm going to put in 2/3 of a cup. And I'm just going to shake my coconut. I'm excited about this. Older eggs get to peel easier. Yes, they do, Bron. They do. Exactly what I was saying. And I got the oldest eggs out of my thing. They have been sitting in the fridge for a couple of weeks, but clearly, I don't know, they must just not be old enough. And I did put them straight under water from the thermi, but oh well. You know, I think that probably, imagine if I hadn't done that, I probably would have had just, you know, like one tiny squillimeter of egg white. So popping in a bit of this stuff. So one of the things, so I'm back to just thinking about what affects me, what doesn't affect me, what can I do. And I've told you this before, darlings, that when I've got people that get on Facebook and rant, and what they're doing is they're projecting outwards their discomfort or their anger, and I get that. You're allowed to be angry. It's not like you're not allowed to have negative emotions. You are allowed. You're allowed to be angry, disappointed, frustrated, all of those things. They're all human, valid emotions. But because we don't like them, and we don't like sitting with them, we want to get rid of them. And the best way to get rid of them, from a personal point of view, is to give them to someone else. That's why people do it. That's why people kind of go and have a rant, and they walk away and they feel better. And what they've done is basically transferred their horrible feeling onto another person, who sometimes, you know, doesn't even deserve it. And we all know this has been happening, because I can tell you now, the reception staff in medical practices are getting absolutely flogged. And part of this is that, you know, the rules are all changing. Who can have COVID vaccines? Who can't have COVID vaccines? When can we have them? Do we have Pfizer? No, you don't have Pfizer. ScoMo said, go to your GP and get Pfizer. Go to your GP and talk about it. Like, there's all these rules. Everything's changing. And so everyone's uncomfortable. Everyone's scared. But, you know, discharging those emotions, whether it's on Facebook or whether it's reception staff or somebody else or road rage, discharging them is unhelpful, because it just gives them to somebody else. And really, we haven't actually ever learnt then to sit with uncomfortable emotions. And if we can't sit with uncomfortable emotions, as soon as we have them, we've got to get rid of them. And we either do that by outwardly projecting, ranting, or stuffing them down with food and alcohol. So 2 things I've done. I've gone through and I've just unfollowed any of my friends that get a bit ranty about things that are unhelpful to be ranty about. You know, because for every post about, you know, they should have shut down Sydney earlier, they shouldn't shut down Sydney, they should be doing this, there's always different opinions. So no one's right, but everyone wants to be right, and that just creates misery for everyone else. I'm going to put this on for about 10 seconds. It's really loud. Just talk amongst yourselves out there. Behold, let's have a look. Now, I'm just waiting for the thermi to open. Oh, needs a bit more. I forgot to grab a bowl and my stirrer. I won't be a sec. What I am going to do with this, because it needs to set, gosh, it's thick. Oh, it's lovely. Just needs a bit more stirring because I've put some extra cacao in. God, I'm telling you? Looks good. You girls are going to be impressed. And boys, Bazza, I know you're watching. Sounds like it's about to take off. It does. You should hear it sometime. Okay. I think it's going to be good. Okay, let's put this down. Now you remember, I threw in those boiled eggs and the coconut cream. Look at this. How amazing is that? So, you ready for the taste test? Just give it a little stir. I'm wondering if it might, I probably won't need a bit more, so I'll probably be fine with the sweetness. Can you make it in a normal blender? Absolutely, but absolutely, Bron, you definitely can. That is good. That is very good. It doesn't taste like egg. Does not taste like boiled egg, absolutely at all. I am happy with the sweetness because I'm not a sweet person anymore. But some of you, doesn't even smell eggy. Nothing to, it's like it's like the eggs somehow ran away. It may need, for some people, it may need a little bit more sweetener. It's not sweet because I've only put in 1/3 of a cup of erythritol to all this other stuff. So it isn't sweet, but it's not that really hideous bitterness. And what I'm gonna do is serve this. Probably I'd put some berries on it, you know, a few raspberries, because I like a few raspberries. So, you know, if you get a bit sick of raspberries and cream for your little dessert, any little bits of egg. No, there is no egg. You cannot even, it's like there's no egg anywhere. I'll get a fork and show you. So look, just trying to get the right light. No, nothing. It does not taste like egg at all. It's nothing. There's not even a scrap of it. Now, I have got the Thermi is like the world's best blender. And I did put the eggs on the bottom. I read it even smells less eggy the next day. Yes, it's meant to go now in the fridge overnight, which will be fine. But it honestly doesn't taste eggy at all. So the only thing I might do is, because I'm not going to be able to eat all of this because there's 10 eggs and it lasts about 4 days. So what I'm going to do is actually put a bit more sweetener in for the darlings. I'm not even going to tell them what this is made of. I don't know if you could freeze the extras. That's a good question. I guess I could give it a try. I mean, who knows? So I'm just going to put in another 1/3 of a cup of erythritol. Let's see what happens and make sure it all whizzes up okay. This is like experiments. Just wait for it to do its thing. Righto, better get another. Oh, I can get this one. Oh, it's even creamier. God, that's amazing. Can you see that? Look, I'm trying to get it so you get the good light. It is seriously good. They're not going to know. This is the darlings. That's perfect. Okay, just upgraded. Yes, loving the egg cooking function. Yes, absolutely. Okay, I'm really happy with that recipe now. So write it down if you haven't got a pen. It's 11 eggs, or 10 really well peeled eggs. My eggs, oh God, I had one boiled egg left that nearly flew off the bench. These are the jumbo ones, so they're the ones where the packet weighs 800 grams. So I've done 11 eggs. I've done 2 jars of Ayan coconut cream. I've done 2/3 of a cup of erythritol and 2/3 of a cup of the cacao, a teaspoon of cinnamon and a teaspoon of vanilla. I don't think you can overbeat it. It looks magnificent. It's shiny and glossy and it looks just like normal chocolate mousse. And basically I'm going to put it out into jars, and I think it will firm up. I think you're meant to put it, you know, probably better to cook it in the morning and then have it later. Although I might have mine after dinner tonight, I'll see. But lovelies, I reckon that's a winner. If you've got kids, you could feed them this for breakfast. You know, it's got a lot more protein than perhaps some yogurt has. Eggs, it's got this coconut goop, which is, you know, again, beautiful, really nutritious, lots of stuff in it. So I think this is a winner. I'm happy with this. I'm going to add it to my recipes. As you know, I don't eat a lot of sweet stuff because most of the sweet stuff doesn't have any nutrients either, but this is eggs. Eggs, perfect. All right, beautiful people, I've got to go, but I've got to go. We've got, what are you all having for dinner? We're having leftover, what am I having? Leftover Mexican mince, which I got yesterday. Yesterday, I'm back on the our cow bandwagon. You probably can't see this. I just ordered a whole bunch that comes, I did their meat delivery service that comes once a month now. It's all vacuum packed. It's always in my fridge. And I like open it up and I go, oh, what am I gonna have? And you know, last night I got half a kilo of pork mince, half a kilo of beef mince, and just plopped in some frozen onions, some mushrooms. I had a moldy old looking eggplant that needed using up, and a zucchini, the usual, some mingle, some passata, bang, beautiful. So that, with a bit of this dessert, I think it's a winner. Oh, Carolyn, you're having my chicken soup, beautiful. I know, that's a bonza recipe. So yeah, this is a goodie, add it to your lists. All right, lovelies, stay well, focus on the things that are in your control, let all the other stuff rah away. When it's all getting too much, you know, when it really just creeps in, I'm gonna give you my little tip, and that is, do you remember that video of Alan and Steve? Alan, Steve, you know, the chipmunks or whatever they were that were talking to us. There is also in that the bird that does nighttime, daytime, nighttime, daytime with his big wings. When life gets a bit much and you feel like you're getting bombarded, I just put my imaginary nighttime wings on and I'm safe and sound. Whatever is going on out there can do its own thing. I'm just in here doing my thing. It's a beautiful trick, particularly if you've got a person that's kind of annoying you and they're in your space and you're trying not to be bothered by them, but they're just there. Nighttime. Daytime. All right, darlings. See you soon. Bye, lovelies.